Nadine.
Hi.
I'm so happy to have you on my show.
I'm happy to be with you, finally.
Okay, guys, this is like a fangirl moment for me. Nadine Abdel Ghaffar, I want you to tell everybody who you are and what you do, and then we're going to talk about some of the most incredible things that you've been working on that I'm so excited about. So first, introduce my listeners to who you are.
So I'm Nadine Abdel Ghaffar, the founder of Art d'Egypte.
And what is Art d'Egypte?
So Art d'Egypte is a platform that we've created almost 6 years ago. The idea behind it is to create curatorial pairing between contemporary art and historical spaces in Egypt. So this started in 2017 at the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir, and we were just saying 5 minutes ago with our friends, every year everyone says, my God, this is amazing, what's next? And then we surprise everyone with the next and next and next. So this year was at the pyramids, Forever is Now, with 10 artists from around the world that showcase their art in juxtaposition with the pyramids. And it was the first internationally curated exhibition in history. So
I saw it on Instagram and on social media, and I was dying. I was like, first of all, so proud to be Egyptian. Second, I want to ask you, how did it come about? So for the listeners who aren't following what we're talking about, you created an incredible art installation for the first time ever at the foot of the pyramids, or the backdrop of the pyramids, with 10 artists? World-renowned artists that were displaying their art, physical structures. And I want to know, what's the concept behind Forever is Now? How did you get these 10 artists? How long did it take you? I want to know every detail about it. I'm just literally obsessed, and I just think it was amazing.
So it was a tough journey, actually. One, we've created some kind of a public-private partnership. So every year we're under the auspices of the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities.
Okay.
And at the beginning, it was a crazy idea. I was this crazy girl going up to the minister saying, okay, I want to put contemporary art at the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir, a 1902 building. And
wow.
At the beginning, archaeologists were like, what is contemporary art? Come on, close to the antiquities, how will that look? And everyone was impressed. We had people flying from around the world. I had Isabella Gianni, the French actress. I had people from Prince Charles Foundation. And year on year, this initiative has been growing. The way we use our model is that we do a lot of community engagement programs. So we're also endorsed by the UNESCO. So we have the UNESCO patronage as well. So we do workshops with the local communities around each space we use. So we did one at Mu'izz Street in historic Cairo.
Oh yes.
It's the longest lived in street in Egypt. It's 1,050 years old and still lived in. And we had this amazing exhibition there, 28 Egyptian artists, and people were walking down the streets of historic Cairo with this amazing art installations. And the boys and girls that were actually explaining to the ministers and everyone the historical background of each space were young boys and girls from Mu'izz Street. So the initiative is also, we do a lot of aid to help, the tangible heritage in terms of lighting, a lot of things to help the sites. We also work with the local communities, and that's how we work closely with the UNESCO. And then, well, I've been thinking of the pyramids, and it's a very touchy...
yeah, it's like, how do you get the permission?
So the government really realized how much good this was doing in terms of image building, in terms of bringing in a different type of tourist, the cultural tourism. We don't need to create something new,
Yeah.
We show this transcendence with our past. And when we decided the pyramids, the ministry granted us the okay to do it here. It was quite a journey because, again, the mindset, I mean, it's the first time to have a big show at the Giza Plateau, so close to the monument. So it's quite a challenge. But we did, I mean, that's why we limited it to 10 artists this year. There was a lot of preparation. Maha, you cannot imagine what we went through. We only had 10 days to install.
10 days to install?
10 days to install those huge installations. And to protect the site, we had to put plastic sheets on the floor so I don't touch the sand, and then new sand on top of it, and then the installation.
Oh, wow.
It's a UNESCO site, come on. It's the living wonder
of the world.
Of the ancient world, the only living wonder. So again, we're happy, of course, to take care of the space. But the synergy, Maha, the journey was unbelievable. One, I have to thank our international curatorial board. We had an honorary board.
Oh, wow.
So I had curators from around the world, and each one was thinking of a couple of artists, and that's how we got everyone together. And the beautiful part is the behind the scenes were incredible.
Really? Did you film it?
Yes.
Did you create content?
Yeah, on Instagram, and I can send you some of the stuff.
Yeah, I want to see.
But it's amazing because the workers were actually happy and proud. So I had, for Lorenzo Quinn's piece, I had 4 from his team members from Spain speaking Spanish, and the Egyptian workers, and them working together without really speaking.
The same
and then they were like, okay, we're coming to Spain. And the artists stayed in Egypt for 10 days. They went downtown, you know, everyone was sharing their own stories and content.
I was like stalking everybody, and then I look at his story, and then I follow his story, then I follow their stories.
So it went viral, and you know what surprised us is that after we always do our public opening before our private open to give the public access, because the whole idea behind Art d'Egypte is to democratize art and not just have it in
for the young people.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
So we do the public openings before. And the amazing thing that happened, I mean, I knew internationally the news were going to talk about and everybody was going to be in awe. But for the Egyptian public, the greater public, we've had 500,000 visits.
500,000 visits.
In less than a month. It's insane.
That's incredible.
I mean, you couldn't even get into the pyramids.
It was so crowded.
And people from all walks of life. Young people, old people, students, people interested in art, people not interested in art, dancers, you know, like yoga instructors. It was insane. I mean, everyone was making stories and creating content on their own, and it was just incredible. I never, you know, I'm like really dummy in social media. I'm,
no, you're not.
I'm an old soul, and so, and like Amy, who's helping me with the social media, was like, can you imagine? I mean, the Instagram is going crazy. Do you see what's happening? And I was like, my God. And she's like, all I'm doing is just reposting. But it's insane.
A lot. It's a lot.
And the nice thing is that, you know, the horse and carriage guys, we helped them restore a couple of carriages, and they were actually doing private tours to the exhibition. And they were explaining the artwork. And they were showing people how to use the QR codes.
I love that.
And that was just for us.
Everything.
The journey makes it so much easier because, you know, again, funding is an issue. We don't have, like the rest of the world, like art institutions that would help or foundations that would help. So that makes it really challenging every year. And that year was a huge undertaking.
Yeah, of course. Especially last year, all the COVID things that were going on.
Exactly.
So what did you do? Did you ever think that it wasn't going to happen because of COVID?
No. I was so sure because I actually tried to disinvite people because I had 400 people flying from all over the world to attend. We had on our opening night like 1,000 people. It was
crazy,
insane, really. Like until now, like that day I was so overwhelmed and I was like, really, did all these people come? Like, no one canceled, guys. And all of these people came from everywhere and stayed in Egypt for at least 2 weeks because our program is like a 4-day program. So as you know, every year we do the first day in a historical site, and the next day we show people the Khidewi Cairo, downtown. Midan al-Tahrir and all the area around it. So we had 12 locations where we had almost 60 Egyptian artists.
Oh wow.
And that was beautiful because people actually walk downtown. So you have all these foreigners walking down the streets of Cairo.
Checking out the streets, nice. Did you, Did you think it was going to be this big?
No. I think if I knew it was that big and that difficult, I don't think I would have had the guts.
What was the biggest challenge that you faced?
Oh my God, so many challenges every single day. One, to get everyone on board and to convince everyone.
To do it.
To convince the government, all the different authorities, because it's not just the ministry. You have the tourism police, you have so many people you need to convince. And the beauty of Art d'Egypte is that it doesn't really belong to us. It belongs to all of our partners. And I consider everyone as a co-creator. And that's the beauty of it, because people have their hearts and soul into that. One of the businessmen that helped me, actually the Sawiris family, was like, Nadine, look at people's faces.
They're
people
so happy.
are genuinely happy and in awe. And this is not easy, because this is an initiative that came, I mean, we're working full-heartedly. We're a team of 8 women, 8 Egyptian women. And despite all the stereotypes that you have around, we make things happen.
We make things happen.
I mean,
women get
power
things done.
And
works.
It's just natural.
What was it like having Prince Charles come take a look at it?
So actually he was coming to visit the pyramids, and we had to keep the exhibition one day longer. So he saw it from his car. We had 2 British artists, Stephen Cox from the Royal Academy and Schuster and Mosley.
Nice.
So it was good too. That was like the last day.
You're like, we're finally going to close it down. We end with the royal.
We end with the royal.
We end with the royal visit. How do you think people think about art after experiencing what you did?
They understand that art is not far-fetched, that art is, I mean, can be interactive. All the pieces were interactive pieces. And I think that's the beauty of it, is that it's not exclusive to a certain audience.
It's attainable.
It's attainable, and it's for everyone. And I think Egypt is ready for that.
What do you think about what's happening with NFTs right now in the art community? Because artists are finally getting their sun, pardon the sun, or what's the saying? They're finally getting their well-known recognition, because they're always struggling and no one really took them seriously, or they couldn't get their work to be seen, or they had to have a curator put them in a museum. Now they can go like everything else, direct to consumer.
So I'm one of the people that is converted. Because at the beginning, you know, again, I'm telling you, I love heritage spaces, and I'm literally an old soul, and I think I was born in the 20s. But what I've seen in the past 2 years, especially post-pandemic, is that people access so much faster. I mean, the world is just, if you do that, you reach the US, you know, and with all the Zoom meetings we've had, I mean, I got one of our advisors, whom I love, Peter Manuelian, Harvard University, just because I took a course online. And I fell in love with him, and I called him, and then he became one of our advisors, and he was a contributor to our catalog.
What do you say to people who think art is not for them, that it's too expensive, or they can't afford it? They can appreciate it regardless, right?
Definitely they can appreciate it. And then there's art for everyone. I mean, a lot of emerging artists are very affordable. And I always tell the women especially, don't buy clothes and bags, and buy art.
Buy art.
Buy art. Art is an investment.
How do you think, if you're a young artist and you saw that installation and you aspire to either be a part of something so big or to develop a career as an artist, you know, not doing it as a side hobby, because a lot of people feel like struggling musicians or actresses or artists that they can't find a career, or people, their parents won't take me seriously if I say I want to be an artist. What do you say to that?
Look, I think you should follow your heart. And honestly, this is what keeps our team going, is that we follow our dream, we dream big, and we work really hard. And passion and perseverance are key. And I think as a young artist, definitely try to go to galleries, try to get your art out there. And as you said, there are so many ways now virtually where it's not, you don't need to invest so much into doing it. I mean, look, social media is taking over TV. I mean, even myself, I mean, I stopped watching news. I go on Cairo Scene to get, I mean, I want anything on Egypt, I'm just okay. Anything
Social
that
media.
happens, I just look on social media, which was not me at all. And now with NFTs and with everything that is transformed in the world, it's just so much easier.
Tell me your story. When did you fall in love with art, and how did you start your career in art?
It's a long story. So I was born and raised in Alexandria.
Okay.
With a lot of people that are into, I mean, we're cultural promoters mainly. So anything that has to do with the creative industry, we just launched an award called Obelisk Design Award.
Oh yeah,
and members of the jury are mostly foreign members to come and see what's happening in Egypt. And we did an art and design exhibition before. So I think that the whole creative industry is linked. So actually in Alexandria I was very close to friends of my parents. One of them for me was the warrior, you know, he was the guardian of all the old houses and villas in Egypt. He would fight to protect any of those houses. Muhammad Awad, Professor Muhammad Awad, who worked at the Alexandria Library, and Jean-Yves Empereur, who's also a French archaeologist. And I think it's just the way that all of this, you know, was together, put together, made me like this. And my mom is an art collector.
So that's how you got the bug. And you have two children.
17 and 13.
And what do they think about art?
My daughter actually draws very well. My son is into golf, so it's okay. He's a champion. We're trying to get him a scholarship through that.
Oh, really? He's a golfer?
He's a golfer.
What is it about raising your children and coming from this artistic background that makes you want to pass along what you've learned doing this to them?
I try, you know, like it's difficult. I try to push them to go to like museums and do cultural activities. It's not easy.
Favorite museum in the world?
Tahrir Museum.
Really? I've never been.
Oh, you have to go.
It's
the oldest museum in Cairo.
Oh, but it's the museum behind the Nile Hilton, or what used to be. It's called Tahrir Museum.
It's the Egyptian Museum.
I thought it was called like the Egyptian Museum.
Yeah,
I've never been, and
the
Egyptian Museum. Is it still open?
Yeah.
And when's the Grand Museum opening?
Hopefully end of next year.
End of next year. That was such a parade when they took that piece of King Tut. What moved from?
Yeah, the mummies moved to the National Museum of Civilization.
Egypt's full of history everywhere you look.
And so much is happening. Today there's the parade, the Sphinx.
The Luxor parade.
Yeah.
What is that? Tell our listeners what that is.
So that is amazing because they've redone the Sphinx alley. So today is the opening of the alley.
Good. I'm going to be going to Luxor one very soon. One more thing before we go, because they're telling us that they need their spot and we need to wrap up. What's next for you?
It's a surprise. Stay tuned. You'll know soon.
Okay, I need to be there next year. If it's going to be at the pyramids, I need to know.
Anyway,
you need to give me an advance notice.
So
I want to be at the opening party.
October 2022, everyone.
October 2022. You heard it live here first. Breaking news. Next year, Nadine is back with another special art installation. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to come and video it and tell stories so that everyone else can enjoy what we've done in Egypt. This is such a beautiful evening. We're sitting outside. The pyramids are behind us. The home of where you had, they're all lit up. The home of where you had your installation project. I'm so grateful for your time. Appreciate your time. Thank you, Nadine.
Thank you.